जाना।
Hello and a very good morning. It's just past 8 this Wednesday morning and we're back again with all the news on Breakfast News. I am Nancy Kohli. Over the next 1 hour, we'll get you news from across the nation, world, sports and business updates as well, and also look at what the national dailies are carrying this morning. But first, the headlines we're tracking at the top of 8. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to launch key initiatives for farmers' welfare in Mathura today. The National Animal Disease Control Program and the National Artificial Insemination Program aimed at nurturing a livestock, a valuable source of income for the Indian farmers. India exposes Pakistan at the UNHRC, says Pakistan that is the epicenter of global terror and has suppressed minorities in its own country, has no right to speak on human rights, asserts India is fully committed to protecting the human rights of the people of Jammu and Kashmir. It's a moment of truth for Pakistan as Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi accepts that Jammu and Kashmir is a part of India, refers to J&K as an Indian state. President Ramnath Kovind discusses bilateral issues in Iceland. Both the countries term terror as a serious threat to humanity. 3 agreements signed. The President to address the India-Iceland Business Forum today. In international news, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu announces intention to annex Jordan Valley in the West Bank if he wins the next week's general elections. Says the step could be taken immediately after the election in case of a clear mandate. US President Donald Trump sacks his national security advisor John Bolton, says he had serious differences with the NSA. He will announce a successor next week. Bolton was the 3rd NSA in the Trump administration. And in football, India put up a heroic performance to hold Asian champions Qatar to a goalless draw in the FIFA World Cup qualifiers game in Doha. Goalkeeper Gurpreet stars for India, neutralizing waves of the Qatar attacks. India next play Bangladesh on 15th October in Kolkata. And our top story, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will launch the National Animal Disease Control Program as well as the National Artificial Insemination Program in Mathura today. He'll also participate in the Swachhta Hi Seva program in Mathura.
In a key initiative aimed at doubling farmers' income, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be launching the National Animal Disease Control Program for eradicating foot and mouth disease and brucellosis in livestock from Mathura. With 100% funding from the central government of Rs 12,652 crores for a period of 5 years till 2024, the program aims at vaccinating over 500 million livestock against the foot and mouth disease. The program also aims at vaccinating 36 million female bovine calves annually in its fight against the brucellosis disease. The program has 2 components to control the diseases by 2025 and their eradication by 2030.
इस योजना से हम लोग 51 करोड़ गाय, भैंस, भेड़, बकरी और सूअरों को इस टीके को लगाएंगे, एफएमडी के टीके को, और 4 से 8 महीने की जो बछड़ियां होती हैं उनको ब्रूसेलोसिस के टीके लगाएंगे। ये जो कार्यक्रम है, ये कार्यक्रम जैसे कि आप जानते हैं कि यहाँ 51 करोड़ पशुओं को टीकाकरण होगा और साल में 2 बार होगा।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will also be launching the National Artificial Insemination Program on Wednesday. He is also expected to launch simultaneous nationwide workshops in Krishi Vigyan Kendras in all 687 districts of India on vaccination, disease management, artificial insemination and productivity.
पशु मेला लगाना, वहाँ टीकाकरण भी करना, उनके रोकथाम भी करना। अभी आप छोटी छोटी दवाइयाँ देखें जानवरों के लिए, तो वो जो होगा पशु का रोकथाम का, वो टीकाकरण का भी होगा। और भी कई चीज़ों को वहाँ हम प्रदर्शित करेंगे और देश में पशु मेले के माध्यम से रोगों का भी इलाज करेंगे।
During his visit to Mathura, the Prime Minister will also take part in the Swachhata Hi Seva program.
हमारी यमुना मैया है, उसको बचाने के लिए, हमारी गौ माता को बचाने के लिए, पृथ्वी को बचाने के लिए, पर्यावरण को बचाने के लिए, स्वच्छ जल और वायु के लिए, प्लास्टिक और पॉलीथीन मुक्त भारत का जो मुद्दा है, ये जो अभियान है, ये बहुत जरूरी है। तो इसका शुरुआत वो यहाँ से कर रहे हैं।
The launch of the National Animal Disease Control Program will herald the nation into a mission mode to save and nurture livestock, Indian farmers' most valuable source of additional income. With Anuj and OP Yadav in Mathura, Bureau Report, DD News.
And let's now go across to our correspondent Anuj Yadav, who is joining us from Mathura this morning. Anuj, good morning. So 51 crore livestock are going to be vaccinated against the foot and mouth disease. It's a mega farmers welfare scheme, of course, and Prime Minister Modi is going to be launching this nationwide campaign against the foot and mouth disease of the livestock. What reactions are you picking up, because this is going to be a big rural push and a big step for the farmers welfare?
देखिए नैन्सी, बिल्कुल अगर हम बात करें किसानों के लिए या पशुपालक हैं, उनके लिए अगर कोई सबसे बड़ा अगर कोई धन है तो उनका पशुधन होता है, क्योंकि पशुओं के माध्यम से वो अपनी एग्रीकल्चर की जितनी भी खेती है उसको वो करते हैं, चाहे दूध का उत्पादन हो या बाकी अन्य चीज़ें हों। तो प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जब सेकंड टर्म में प्राइम मिनिस्टर बने हैं, बहुमत से बने हैं, तो उन्होंने सबसे पहले कैबिनेट में इसी बात को कहा था कि हमें किसानों की, पशुपालकों की अगर आय को दोगुना करना है तो हमें उनके पशुओं की सेहत का ध्यान रखना होगा। निश्चित तौर पर हम जानते हैं कि जो पशुओं के अंदर बीमारी होती हैं वो किसान उससे कहीं ना कहीं टूट जाता है, पशुपालक टूट जाता है, उसका इलाज अगर समय पे ना हो, उसका जानवर बेकार हो जाता है, वो दूध नहीं देता है। इस तरह की साइंस का किस तरीके से और टेक्नोलॉजी का किस तरीके से उपयोग किया जा सकता है पशुओं की अच्छी सेहत के लिए, ये एक बड़ी शुरुआत आज यहाँ से होने जा रही है। अगले 2025 तक की मैं बात करूं तो करीब 51 करोड़ पशुओं को वैक्सीनेशन का कार्यक्रम चलेगा, हर गांव-गांव में ये प्रोग्राम चलेगा। दूसरी जो सबसे बड़ी बात है कि किस तरीके से आने वाले समय में हम विज्ञान के माध्यम से, साइंस के माध्यम से अच्छी नस्लों की गाय को पैदा कर सकते हैं, किस तरीके से दूध के उत्पादन को बढ़ा सकते हैं, किस तरीके से जो भी किसान या पशुपालक के जो जानवर खेती के काम आते हैं या दूध के उत्पादन के काम आते हैं या भेड़ की जो रुई निकलती है उसके काम आते हैं, बकरी का दूध होता है, इन जानवरों की सेहत को किस तरीके से ठीक किया जा सकता है, ये एक शुरुआत प्रधानमंत्री यहां से करेंगे, आज मथुरा के इस वेटनरी कॉलेज से यहां पर करेंगे। और एक सबसे अच्छी बात यही है क्योंकि जिस तरीके से मथुरा के आसपास के और आगरा के जो यहाँ पर किसान आए थे, हमने जब नैन्सी उनसे बात की थी तो उन लोगों का यही कहना था कि ये एक इतनी बड़ी योजना है और इस तरह की जो सोच थी अभी तक किसी सरकार ने, किसी प्रधानमंत्री की ऐसी सोच नहीं थी कि सब किसानों की तो बात करते थे लेकिन किसान का जो सबसे बड़ा धन है पशुधन, उसकी सेहत का ख्याल रखने की जो बात की गई है प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी के द्वारा, निश्चित तौर पर को इस बात की आशा है, विश्वास है कि जो एक सपना प्रधानमंत्री का है 2022 तक किसानों की आय दुगनी करने का, ये भी एक उसी का ही तरीका है, माध्यम है। पशु अगर खुशहाल होगा तो निश्चित तौर पर किसान भी खुशहाल होगा।
Absolutely. So, new initiative that will be launched by Prime Minister Modi, a key livestock scheme, of course, towards the aim of doubling farmers' income by 2022. That's going to be a very important, in fact, launches, and we will keep coming back to you, Anuj, for regular updates on that. But for now, thanks very much for the moment. And moving on now, Pakistan faced a twofold embarrassment on the world stage on Tuesday. First, its Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi let his bluster over spreading lies about Kashmir get the better of him by terming Jammu and Kashmir as an Indian state, undoing decades of denial of that status by Islamabad. And second, when India took Pakistan to the cleaners at the UNHRC World Stage in Geneva over its malicious campaign about the state of affairs in Kashmir following the abrogation of Article 370. Here's a detailed report about what happened in Geneva and how is situation shaping up in Jammu and Kashmir.
The Indian state of Jammu and Kashmir. The Indian state of Jammu and Kashmir.
Truth has its own ways of coming out, and here it comes straight from the horse's mouth. Pakistan Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi has finally said what India has been saying for decades. Islamabad has always been refusing to accept this reality. After the abrogation of Article 370, Pakistan is crying foul on the global platform, but its own ministers are accepting the truth. During the ongoing 42nd UN Human Rights session, Pakistan Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi mentioned Kashmir as the Indian state of Jammu and Kashmir in Geneva.
The Indian state of Jammu and Kashmir. The Indian state of Jammu and Kashmir.
Even India responded. Vijay Thakur Singh, Secretary East in the Ministry of External Affairs, said the decision on J&K was taken by Parliament and enjoys widespread support. These were sovereign decisions, entirely internal to India.
The decisions were taken by our Parliament after a fully televised debate and enjoys widespread support. These were sovereign decisions, entirely internal to India. No country can accept interference in its internal affairs, certainly not India. Despite challenging circumstances, Jammu and Kashmir civil administration is ensuring basic services, essential supplies, mobility and connectivity. Democratic processes have been initiated, restrictions are being eased continuously, temporary preventive measures were needed to ensure security in the face of credible threats of cross-border terrorism.
She also said India has suffered greatly on account of state-sponsored terrorism. It is time to collectively take decisive and firm action against terror groups who threaten the fundamental human right to life.
It is time to collectively take decisive and firm action against terror groups who threaten fundamental right to life. We must speak out. Silence alone emboldens terrorists and their supporters.
The situation in J&K remains normal and peaceful. Restrictions have been eased in most of the areas except in Srinagar. Government offices are open and functional. Vice President Venkaiah Naidu interacted with a delegation of Sarpanchas from Jammu and Kashmir and urged them to take the development schemes to the people of the valley. The Vice President also said that the government has taken various steps to strengthen Panchayati Raj institutions. Vice President asserted that the dilution of Article 370 would accelerate the process of development in the Union territories of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. He said it will pave the way for the extension of various schemes and legislations, including the 73rd and 74th constitutional amendments to strengthen the funds and functions of local bodies.
Temporary, तात्कालीन कुछ स्थिति बन गया, उसके कारण से कुछ इधर-उधर कुछ ये गतिरोध रुक गए और कुछ आंक्षा भी इधर-उधर लगाया। कारण क्या है? अलगाववादी और हमारा बगल में जो देश है, वो हमारा देश में आंतरिक सुरक्षा में हस्तक्षेप करके अलगाववादियों को प्रोत्साहन कर रहे हैं। सीक्रेट नहीं है, सबको मालूम है।
Many initiatives are being taken for the benefit of the people. Apples cultivated in J&K will be procured directly from farmers by the government-run National Agricultural Cooperative Marketing Federation of India Limited, NAFED, and the entire process will be completed by December 15th. The objective of the National Agricultural Cooperative Marketing Federation of India Limited is to promote cooperative marketing of agricultural produce to benefit farmers. The procurement will be made directly from genuine apple growers, and the state administration will ensure direct payment in bank accounts of apple growers through direct benefit transfer. Fair prices for various categories will be fixed by the price committee that includes a member from the National Horticulture Board. People of J&K are welcoming the decision.
आज की डेट में हमारे फ्रूट ग्रोवर्स को ये शक व शुबहात थे कि पता नहीं हमारा सेब बाहर जाए न जाए, तो अगर गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया प्रधानमंत्री जी ने ये फैसला लिया कि ये क्या नाम है, हम सरकार की तरफ से सेब लेंगे, तो हमें खुशी होगी कि अगर हमें ज़्यादा पैसा वहीं पे मिले.
Schools are also becoming more advanced and technology driven. In Poonch, students are being imparted education through smart classes. Students have expressed their happiness at the new methods of imparting education.
स्मार्ट क्लासेस लग रही है ना, इससे हमें बहुत हेल्प हो रही है, क्योंकि पहले ये सब कुछ नहीं था हमारे स्कूल में, हमें सब कुछ दिखाया नहीं जा रहा था, हम बुक से पढ़ रहे थे, तो बुक से इतना ज़्यादा समझ नहीं आता इंसान को.
The centre has constituted a 3-member advisory committee to look into distribution of assets and liabilities of Jammu and Kashmir between 2 successor union territories, which will come into existence on October 31st. While former Defence Secretary Sanjay Mathura will be the chairman of the committee, retired IAS officer Arun Goyal and retired Indian Civil Accounts Service officer Giriraj Prasad Gupta will be its members. DD News.
And Union Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh has said that the government's next agenda is to make Pakistan-occupied Kashmir an integral part of India. He also said this is not just the Bharatiya Janata Party's commitment but a result of the unanimous resolution passed by Parliament in 1994 by the then Congress government headed by P.V. Narasimha Rao.
The next agenda is retrieving Pak-occupied Jammu Kashmir and making it a part of India. और ये सिर्फ मैं नहीं कह रहा, या मेरा संगठन नहीं कह रहा, ये राजनीतिक दल नहीं कह रहा. This is a part of a unanimously passed resolution of the Parliament in 1994 by the Congress government headed by Prime Minister Narasimha Rao. अब ये और बात है कि कांग्रेस वाले खुद ही नरसिम्हा राव जी का नाम लेने में थोड़ा परहेज करते हैं. But this is an accepted position.
And let's now go across to our correspondent Vishal Barrister, who is joining us from Srinagar this morning. Vishal, good morning. First of all, a sense of the situation on the ground. Restrictions continue to be eased and situation continuing to be normal and peaceful. And the sentiments, the reactions of the people when the government's people-oriented, people-centric decisions continue in the interest of the people of J&K.
Well, a very good morning to you, Nancy. After the Pakistan Foreign Minister declaring at the UN that Jammu and Kashmir is an integral part of India, it's a very good news. And this is followed by a full-page ad by the government of Jammu and Kashmir as to how the single constitution of India would benefit Jammu, Kashmir and Ladakh. Let me show you, and I'll ask my cameraman to show you how this full-page ad reads. This is the full page ad in the Greater Kashmir newspaper, and it reads how this single constitution is going to benefit. And I read, new dawn for youth and equal opportunity for all, Panchayati Raj system would be strengthened, transparency and accountability. Now this is going to control corruption. 106 people-friendly laws and 9 constitutional amendments of the Indian Constitution now to be made applicable. And this includes Right to Education, Maintenance and Welfare of Parents and Senior Citizens Act 2001, and also special provisions for the children, women and disabled. Now this is the full page ad, and the government of Jammu and Kashmir is reaching out to the people of the state, telling them that the anti-national elements would try and misguide you, but you have to understand what is abrogation of Article 370 mean, and what this temporary arrangement has made loss to, how this temporary arrangement has made loss to the state, and why it was necessary to do away with it. Now with the government deciding to procure the apple produce of the state is also another very good news. Normalcy is returning fast to the state. As far as Srinagar is concerned, all the landlines have been restored. But as far as the mobile connectivity is concerned, because of the safety and security of the region, it is being studied, and very soon we are being told that the mobile connectivity would also be introduced in Srinagar. So you see how people are responding to it. The government wants the state to develop, and the government is trying hard to reach out to the people and protect them from all the misguidance of the anti-social elements, from the terror organizations, and from all the conspiracy from across the border. Nancy?
Okay. All right, Vishal, thanks very much for joining us and sharing all those inputs. We'll, of course, keep continuing tracking developments with you from J&K. Thanks very much for now. Moving on now, President Ramnath Kovind yesterday thanked the Iceland government for understanding India's core concerns as he held talks with the country's president on strengthening bilateral political ties and economic partnership. In a press statement after holding talks with the Iceland president, President Kovind said that the two sides took stock of their global partnership and discussed ways to add fresh momentum to it. The two leaders agreed that terror poses a grave threat to humanity and committed to working together to strengthen the global fight against the menace of terror.
We both have agreed that terrorism poses a grave threat to humanity and committed to work together to strengthen the global fight against terrorism. India has been a victim of cross-border terrorism for several decades. I thank President Johannesson for Iceland's support and solidarity in condemning Pulwama terror attack in India. We discussed that terrorism is the worst violation of human rights and it needs to be dealt with strongly in whichever form it appears.
The president also expressed concern over the deteriorating environmental conditions in the world. India agreed to cooperate closely with Iceland on climate change, marine litter and other environmental related issues.
We both noted the good work done in our two countries in the fight against climate change. I conveyed India's strong support for the Paris Accord. India is on course to meet its commitment under it. We agreed to cooperate closely on climate change, marine litter, and other environment-related issues.
And after the talks, India and Iceland signed agreements and MOUs on fisheries collaboration, cultural cooperation and visa waiver for holders of diplomatic and official passport. President Kovind will address the India-Iceland Business Forum today. Union Environment Minister Prakash Javadekar yesterday presented the New Delhi Declaration, which provides a roadmap towards combating the problem. It was presented to the participants of the 14th UN Conference on Land Desertification. Prakash Javadekar, who is the president of the COP, presented it at a closing of the high-level segment of the conference, in which 70 ministers, over 190 countries and more than 8,000 delegates are participating. The minister thanked the delegates for contributing to New Delhi Declaration that will be adopted today. Earlier, Prakash Javadekar highlighted various aspects of the UNCCD COP14 and said that a total of 3 roundtable conferences occurred, emphasizing on land, climate, renewable energy, rural-urban communities, failing and fostering, followed by fostering a global movement for the ecosystem restoration. He also added that COP14 also witnessed 3 interactive dialogues on various climatic issues.
Land, climate and renewable energy. This was roundtable 1. Rural and urban communities failing and flourishing together, roundtable 2. Fostering a global movement for ecosystem restoration, roundtable 3. A value-based approach to land stewardship, interactive dialogue 1. Healthy land, healthy people, interactive dialogue 2. And boosting sustainable value chains for land-based business, interactive dialogue 3.
An emotional Prime Minister Narendra Modi paid glowing and fond tributes to late Arun Jaitley at a prayer meeting yesterday. Leaders from across the political spectrum participated in the gathering. Prime Minister Modi expressed his anguish at not having been able to say his last goodbye to a very special friend.
कभी जीवन में सोचा नहीं था कि ऐसा भी दिन आएगा जब मुझे मेरे छोटे दोस्त को श्रद्धांजलि देने के लिए उपस्थित होना पड़ेगा। इतने लंबे कालखंड तक घनिष्ठ मित्रता और उसके अंतिम दर्शन मैं नहीं कर पाया। मेरे मन पर इसका बोझ हमेशा बना रहेगा। वे सर्व मित्र थे, वे सर्व प्रिय थे। अब पल भर के लिए कल्पना कीजिए, मेरे जैसे व्यक्ति का क्या होता होगा जिसने ऐसे प्रतिभावान साथी को खोया होगा। मैं आदरपूर्वक जो बात कभी मेरे मन में मेरे लिए वो शब्द निकालना बड़ा मुश्किल है कि अपने दोस्त को मैं आज आदरपूर्वक अंजलि दे रहा हूं। कभी किसी की जिंदगी में ऐसे पल नहीं आने चाहिए।
Prime Minister Modi recalled Arun Jaitley's contributions to the critical cabinet decisions. He hailed Arunji's mammoth memory that proved to be an asset for the cabinet when it mulled over the crucial decisions.
कैबिनेट में भी मैं हमेशा एक कमी महसूस करूंगा क्योंकि इनके पास हिंदुस्तान के पार्लियामेंट्री इतिहास की, शासन व्यवस्था की एक प्रकार से मेमोरी का डिक्शनरी, और इसलिए कोई भी विचार हमारे सामने आता है तो बड़ी आराम से कहते हैं देखो उस समय ऐसा हुआ था, इसके पीछे ये बैकग्राउंड है। और सही निर्णय करने में इस प्रकार की पुरानी घटनाओं के मेमोरी का बहुत बड़ा रोल होता है। निर्णय के तरीकों का उस पर प्रभाव होता है, और अरुण जी का ये सामर्थ्य मैं समझता हूं कि हिंदुस्तान के सार्वजनिक जीवन के लिए एक अनमोल रत्न था।
Moving on now, the Modi government in its second term completed 100 days on the 6th of September. Union ministers have been sensitizing the populace about the government's initiatives and the achievements in this short period of time. Among others, Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman was in Chennai on Tuesday, where she further elaborated on the benefits of the recent decision to amalgamate the public sector banks. On the completion of 100 days of the Modi government 2.0 on the 6th September, union ministers are holding press conferences and highlighting the work and achievements of the government. Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said in Chennai that with the recent decision of the merger of the banks will benefit a lot as the customer will have easy access.
The idea of merging banks was that each should benefit from the other's presence. Idan moolama better customer reach irukum, credit offtake improve agum, size of the bank, because as a growing economy you need banks which can take the challenges of a growing economy. That is the reason behind merger.
In Kolkata, it was Union Women and Child Development and Textiles Minister Smriti Irani. In Bhopal, Minister State for Home Nityanand Rai, and in Jammu, Jitendra Singh addressed press conferences and recounted the achievements of the government. The ministers said that the government is taking all the decisions in the interest of the people of the country and its result can be seen on the ground.
This government has been the abolition of triple talaq, the removal of Article 370, seeks to restore not only the rights of women and children in the UTs of Jammu, Kashmir and Ladakh.
2022 तक अपने प्रधानमंत्री जी के उस लक्ष्य को कि हम किसानों की आमदनी दुगनी करेंगे, उसको कामयाबी मिलेगी.
It is a citizen of Jammu and Kashmir and a person living here who would actually realize the value of the abrogation of Article 370. I said so in Guwahati yesterday as well.
On the 30th May, the second term of the Modi government was sworn in, and on the 6th September, it completed 100 days of the government. With Bureau Input, DD India. Onam is being celebrated with exuberance and zeal not only in Kerala but by the Malayali community across the globe. It is believed that King Mahabali pays a visit to people's houses on this day. Held in the honor of King Mahabali, whose reign was believed to be the most prosperous time for the state, it is one of the most important festivals for the people of Kerala. The celebrations span over 10 days and people get together for snake boat races, elaborate meals called the Onam Sadhya, and catch up with family and loved ones. President Ramnath Kovind, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu and Prime Minister Narendra Modi have greeted people on the occasion. In a tweet, the President has said, I quote, "May this harvest festival bring immense joy and prosperity to each one of us," unquote. And Prime Minister Modi has also said, I quote again, "May this festival further the spirit of happiness, well-being and prosperity in our society," unquote. And moving on now to some international news, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has announced his intention to annex the Jordan Valley. That's a large swath of the occupied West Bank if he wins next week's election in a closely contested race. Israel goes to the polls on the 17th of this month. Israel has occupied the West Bank since 1967 but stopped short of the annexation. In a televised speech, Netanyahu had also said he would annex all the Jewish settlements in the West Bank, but this would need to wait until the publication of the US President Donald Trump's long-awaited plan for a peace agreement between Israelis and Palestinians. Palestinians claim the whole of the West Bank for a future independent state. Netanyahu previously insisted Israel would always retain a presence in the Jordan Valley for security purposes. US President Donald Trump has sacked his national security advisor John Bolton over foreign policy disagreements. Bolton is a leading foreign policy hawk and Trump's third national security advisor. Bolton, who was also a chief architect of Trump's strident stand against Iran, had advocated a tougher approach to North Korea, Iran, Russia and Afghanistan. Bolton, who took up the post in April 2019, replacing H.R. McMaster, had sometimes been at odds with the Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, one of Trump's main loyalists. Trump's North Korea envoy, Stephen Biegun, is among the names floated as possible successors. And US President Donald Trump has issued a new executive order that would enhance the country's ability to target terrorists and those who finance their activities, as well as identify, sanction and deter perpetrators of the terror nationwide. Worldwide, that is. Utilizing the new order issued on the eve of 9/11 anniversary, the Treasury sanctioned over 24 individuals and the entities from 11 terror groups, including Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan. The executive order also authorizes secondary sanctions on foreign financial institutions that have knowingly conducted or facilitated significant transactions with sanctioned persons. The 11 terror organizations also includes Iran's Quds forces, Hamas, ISIS, Al-Qaeda and their affiliates. The European Union has completed contingency preparations for any no-deal Brexit, but such a departure would not benefit the bloc or Britain. European Union Commission President designate has in fact her comment following several developments in British Parliament. The Parliament passed a law compelling Prime Minister Boris Johnson to ask Brussels to postpone Britain's withdrawal of the European Union until 31st January if no deal has been reached by 19th October or if Parliament has not approved leaving without a deal by then. Johnson, who took office in July, says he would rather be dead in a ditch than ask for what would be the country's third Brexit delay. At least 31 people have died and another 100 were injured during the Shiite Muslim religious rituals of Ashura in the Iraq's southern holy city of Karbala. The officials at the Imam Hussein shrine said the stampede took place at the entrance to the ornate building. The death toll is expected to rise, with at least 10 people in a critical condition. The annual pilgrimage marking the death of the Prophet Muhammad's grandson Hussein in battle in 680 draws hundreds of thousands of Shiite Muslims to Karbala from around the world. Hussein's death in a battle at Karbala over the leadership of the Islamic community is one of the defining events in the schism between Shiite and Sunni Muslims. The Hong Kong government has pledged dialogue and urged for further violence to stop just after another weekend of sometimes violent clashes in the former British colony. After 3 months of unrest, the government last week withdrew a controversial extradition bill that had triggered the protests. The gesture failed to appease many demonstrators who are using the popularity of the movement to revive old grievances. The government has also accused the foreign forces of trying to hurt Beijing by creating chaos in Hong Kong and warned other nations against interfering in their territory, saying the situation is an internal affair. Moving on now, stunt riders performed a spectacular three-way double backflip in front just a handful of spectators at the Caerphilly Castle in the Wales. The freestyle motocross bikers Josh Sheehan, Jackson Strong and Luke Ackerman pulled off the trick as a publicity stunt to promote next year's Nitro World Games for FMX, BMX, skate and the freestyle scooter competitors. The organizers say that the trick was the first time 3 consecutive double backflips had been performed. And let's now move on to some sports news. India held the reigning Asian champions Qatar to a goalless draw in a 2022 FIFA World Cup qualifying clash at Doha on Tuesday. The Blue Tigers had to withstand tremendous pressure from the home side throughout the 90 minutes, but they held firm at the back to open their account in Group E. Qatar registered 27 shots in comparison to 2 from the opposition, but India goalkeeper Gurpreet Singh Sandhu was the star of the show as he bailed his team out of trouble on multiple occasions with some excellent saves. He single-handedly stopped the Qataris from scoring any goal in the Group E match that will be remembered for long by the Indians. India, who had suffered a heartbreaking 1-2 loss to Oman in their opening match on the 5th of this month in Guwahati, now have 1 point from 2 matches, while Qatar have 4 points as they had beaten Afghanistan 6-0 in their first match in Doha. India will next take on Bangladesh on 15th October in the Group E clash of the World Cup 2022 qualifiers. And Sri Lanka has rejected Pakistan's assertion that some of its players dropped out of the tour to Pakistan under pressure from India. The Sri Lanka sports minister said in a tweet, I quote, "No truth to reports that India influenced Sri Lankan players not to play in Pakistan." He further said that some decided to not play purely based on 2009 incident. Respecting their decision, we picked players who were willing to travel. We have a full-strength team and we hope to beat Pakistan in Pakistan. Unquote. Earlier, 10 Sri Lankan players, including T20 skipper Lasat Malanga and the ODI captain Dirmut Karunaratne, pulled out of an upcoming tour to Pakistan, citing security reasons. The Sri Lankan Cricket Board said that the national players were briefed on security arrangements for the 6-match limited over series and given the freedom to decide if they wanted to travel. In 2009, the Sri Lankan cricket team came under terror attack during their Lahore visit, in which 6 members of the national team were wounded. And India's Pradesh Yadav in 81 kg category defeated Poland's Matswet Goinski by a unanimous 5-0 verdict on Tuesday to move to the second round of the Men's Boxing World Championships in Russia. Yadav was unable to launch an attack of note in the first round but looked a different boxer after the break. Yadav, a silver medalist from the India Open and the Thailand Open early this year, didn't just defeat Goinski 5-0 but also left him with a wound on his head in the first and only bout of the day for India. His rival, on the other hand, let slip a confident start and was barely able to stand when the final bell rang. With Tuesday's win, Yadav advanced to the round of 32, where he will square off against Turkey's Behram Malkan, who got a first-round bye. The bout is scheduled for Sunday. And let's now move on to our next segment, the morning print, to get you a glimpse of what the national dailies are carrying this morning. We are beginning first with the news from the Pioneer. In fact, a headline that's being carried by every national daily this morning, and we've picked up Pioneer and the Indian Express for that. First, the Pioneer: India snubs Pakistan's Valley interference bid in Geneva, says revocation of J&K special status to a sovereign decision. In fact, India and Pakistan engaged in a war of words over the Kashmir issue on Tuesday at the UNHRC, with New Delhi stoutly defending its sovereign decision to revoke J&K special status, an issue on which Islamabad demanded an international investigation by the global rights body, but India in fact snubbed its interference. And also, in fact, New Delhi has rejected Pakistan-China joint statement on J&K. And in related news from Indian Express, Pakistan using UN Forum for Malaysia's agenda, and this is what India's stand is at the UNHRC. In fact, India has hit out at Islamabad for misusing the platform for Malaysia's political agendas under the garb of human rights. And in news that we also got you earlier from J&K, the government to buy apples directly from farmers. And in fact, this is continuing in a series of initiatives that have been launched benefiting the people, the farmers as well of J&K. Okay, let's now move on to Hindustan Times and get you more news. The panel calls for tax reforms in mandis to tackle the problems there. In fact, this is talking in detail how the government is preparing for a fresh round of reforms in agricultural marketing, or the mandi system that controls buying and selling of farm produce. That's part of a 5-year agenda to turn around the farm sector. And in fact, the Interministerial Panel for Rural and Agricultural Sectors, one among 10 such committees formed to suggest various reforms, has identified persistent trade barriers within the mandi system that continue to hurt traders dealing in food commodities, which in turn affect the farmers. Now, this has been cited as a major reason for the agricultural markets responsible for lower farm profits. Okay, moving on now to news from Economic Times, and the finance minister saying that will front load infra spending to bolster economy. And in fact, she has said that the government will front-load infrastructure spending in a bid to give the economy a boost and announce 1 or 2 more sets of stimulus measures aimed at reviving growth in the coming quarters. She's in fact said, and I quote, "Today the economy needs money and there should be consumption increase because of government spending money, and that can be best spent through spending on infrastructure." Remember, the government has announced a plan to spend 100 lakh crore rupees on infrastructure in the next 5 years. And towards the end, another news from the Economic Times, and this is about how ASEAN agrees to review the trade pact with India and how the move is going to help address India's concerns after trade deficit with the 10-member grouping widens to $22 billion in financial year 2019. And the news is about how the Association of the Southeast Asian Nations, the ASEAN, has agreed to India's long-pending demand to review the free trade agreement between the two sides. The exercise could help address India's concerns that it has not benefited from the agreement and its goods trade deficit with the 10-member grouping has widened. And in fact, this was agreed during a meeting between the grouping's economic ministers and the Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal in Bangkok on Tuesday at the 16th ASEAN Economic Ministers India consultations. All right, with that, it's a wrap on the morning print for now, but let's now move on to our next segment, the history of the day, taking a look back at the significance of this day in history.
On this day in 1893, Swami Vivekananda delivered his first speech in the Parliament of the World's Religions in Chicago. In 1906, on this day, Mahatma Gandhi launched the non-violence movement in Johannesburg to oppose racist policies in South Africa. On this day in 2005, Israel's cabinet voted unanimously to end its 38-year occupation of the Gaza Strip, clearing the way to complete the country's withdrawal from the area and turn it over to Palestinian control.
And I look now at the important events for today.
President Ramnath Kovind, who is on a 9-day 3-nation visit to Europe, scheduled to address India-Iceland Business Forum. President Kovind will reach Switzerland for the second leg of his visit. President's 5-day state visit to Switzerland is at the invitation of Swiss President Ueli Maurer. Prime Minister Narendra Modi scheduled to launch the National Animal Disease Control Program to eradicate the foot and mouth disease and brucellosis in the livestock in Mathura in Uttar Pradesh. The program aims at vaccinating over 500 million livestock, including cattle, buffalo, sheep, goats and pigs, against the FMD. Union Minister of Commerce and Industry Piyush Goyal scheduled to hold a meeting of stakeholders, including export bodies, to give suggestions on trade policy instruments that could stimulate development. Supreme Court scheduled to resume hearing a batch of petitions filed by home buyers who are seeking possession of around 42,000 flats booked in projects of Amrapali Group. Birth anniversary of one of the greatest advocates of non-violence and human rights, Vinoba Bhave, scheduled to be observed.
And moving on now to our health story of the day, and today our focus is nutrition and child health. We're talking about a balanced diet that contains all the food groups that will help ensure your child has proper growth and development to stay healthy and disease-free. Let's listen in to Anuja Agrawal, a dietitian at AIMS, on what to keep in mind while raising healthy children.
Nutrition is foundation for a healthy life. In India, only 10% children between the age of 6 months to 2 years get proper nutrition. What is the importance of nutrition for child's health? To talk about this, we have with us Dr. Anuja Agrawal. Dr. Anuja, how important is nutrition for child's health?
Nutrition is really very important for the child in the first 2 years of life, because his brain development as well as his physical development takes place at a very fast pace during the first 2 years, and that's why the focus on nutrition becomes really very important. If the child doesn't take appropriate nutrition during the first 2 years, he may remain low in his IQ, or his brain development may not be as optimum as it should be during this age, and he may remain stunted and wasted.
What is the right age to start the complementary feed, and what are the precautions that should be taken during feeding the child?
People don't know that they have to be started on complementary feeding promptly at 180 days or 6 months of age. Whatever the child accepts comfortably, but it should be given very frequently. so that his whole demand for the day is completed. The consistency has to be semi-liquid in the beginning, then becomes semi-solid and the solids. So this is a sequential thing that one has to follow. He's already used to liquids, now go over to semi-liquids. Mashed dal, which doesn't have grains. Okay, so you should see in the beginning the child doesn't have teeth, he will just gulp it down. So it should be as soft as possible, right? Something like halwa, it could be a flowing halwa in the beginning, which can become thicker as the child grows. Then curd, it can be mashed, hand mashed, hand should be properly washed, that's very important. And then boiled potato can be mixed into it. It can be made salted or sweet.
How important is it to feed the child frequently and give nutritious diet?
Frequently, many a times a day, and when the child starts taking enough at a time, half a katori or 1 katori, then we can increase the gap. Oil, ghee or butter, whatever is available at home should be given to the child. It makes the food interesting, it makes the food tasty, and also it makes, it is important to give fat to the child for his brain development. I think the single line would be home-based cooked food.
Thank you, Dr. Anuja, for talking to us. Keep a perfect balance between taste and nutrition. Provide proper nutrition to the child to ensure a healthy and better future. Kiran Bhardwaj, DD News.
And our good news in this story now. Well, at a time when overburdened school students are a huge cause of concern that educationists are struggling to deal with, there's a school in Mathura that is making teaching fun for primary children. Well, thanks to Headmaster K. Sarvanand's teaching through song, dance, drama and storytelling, students are getting a wholesome education and almost free of cost.
This is Mathurai's Dr. T. Thirugananam Primary School. Like most government schools, it is government funded and runs according to government norms for education. But with a difference. Teaching here is done through song and dance, animal sounds and games, all due to the efforts of the school headmaster K. Sarvanand.
हमारे सर हमें कहानियों के जरिए कई कठिन पाठ आसानी से पढ़ा देते हैं। हमें आसानी से समझ में तो आता ही है, साथ ही हमेशा के लिए याद भी रहता है। हमें खूब मज़ा आता है सर के साथ पढ़ने में। कठिन से कठिन पाठ आसानी से समझ में आ जाता है। सोलर सिस्टम के बारे में सर ने जिस ढंग से बताया, हमें आसानी से याद हो गया।
Even the stories he uses to teach are not from textbooks. And while the aim is to get the children excited about learning, it's just the method that is a little offbeat, but enriching.
सिर्फ स्कूल के बच्चे ही नहीं, उनके माता पिता को भी मैं इसी तरह पढ़ने पढ़ाने के लिए प्रेरित करता हूँ। मैंने कोशिश की है कि लोग खुद अपनी अपनी लोकेलिटी में लाइब्रेरी खोलें ताकि उनकी पढ़ने में रुचि बढ़े। पिछले 4 साल से पुस्तकालयों में हमारे बच्चों की उपस्थिति अधिक बढ़ी है।
While Sarvanand's methods make learning exciting, it is also a wholesome educational experience that brings out the best in his wards both mentally and emotionally. With bureau inputs for Good News India, DD News.
Tripura from this year has switched over to the NCERT syllabus so as to give quality education to the students of the state. The state government, in order to give a new dimension to quality education and to make a 360-degree angle change in the education sphere of the state, is trying various means to impart and upgrade the school teachers who were till recently more acquainted with the learning module through the TBSE, that is state syllabus that was prevalent till the last academic session. In order to make the mode of learning more fun, around 700 teachers are being imparted with the training on the theme-based learning at the Institute of Advanced Studies in Education in Agartala by the team from the Directorate of Education, the Government of Delhi.
ये ट्रेनिंग प्री प्राइमरी टीचर्स के लिए ही नहीं, प्राइमरी टीचर्स, उसके बाद हेडमास्टर्स और की रिसोर्स पर्सन्स के लिए भी अरेंज किया गया है। गवर्नमेंट ऑफ त्रिपुरा एक बहुत बड़ा विजन लेकर चल रही है कि वो चाहती है कि पूरे एजुकेशन जो है प्राइमरी का वो एक 360 डिग्री टर्न अराउंड ले ले। इन 5 दिन की ट्रेनिंग में लगभग 15 डिसिप्लिन कवर हो रहा है, जिसमें स्टोरी टेलिंग के माध्यम से कैसे पढ़ाना है, स्पोर्ट्स के माध्यम से कैसे पढ़ाना है, और बहुत सारी इंटरेस्टिंग चीज़ें हैं जिसमें कुल मिलाकर हमारे पास 15 डिसिप्लिन्स हैं। हमें उम्मीद है कि जब ये टीचर्स स्कूल में वापस जाएंगे तो इन सभी जो यहाँ से उन्होंने लर्न किया है उसको क्लास में रियल लाइफ सिचुएशन में उसको वो अडेप्ट कर सकेंगे।
इस वक्त मैं यहाँ अंग्रेज़ी की क्लास ले रही हूँ, जिसके अंदर हम कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि जितने पार्टिसिपेंट्स हैं वो 5 वाक्य अंग्रेज़ी में बोलें। उसके लिए हम खेल खेल में हुपला का इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं और पार्टिसिपेंट्स अंग्रेज़ी में 5 वाक्य बोलकर अपने बारे में बता रहे हैं। हम चाहते हैं कि यहाँ के लोग अंग्रेज़ी की प्रैक्टिस करें, अंग्रेज़ी खुद बोलना सीखें, ताकि उनके छात्र भी अंग्रेज़ी में बात करें।
And a look now at the weather conditions across the country.